Hi all, myself Professor Disha Shukla. I am conducting the subject wireless communication and my today's topic is cell splitting. What do you mean by cell splitting in communication? Cell splitting is the process of subdividing a congested cell into smaller cells, each with its own base station and a corresponding reduction in the antenna height and transmitter power. That is, cell whenever you have cells that has a huge number of subscribers in it, and due to that congestion occurs, then we divide that particular cell into smaller cells, and then each of those smaller cells will have their own base station, and the height of the antenna in those stations will be reduced, and the transmitter power will also be reduced. Cell splitting increases the capacity of a cellular system because it increases the number of times the channels are reused. As the number of time the channel will be reused is increasing, the channel capacity also increases. Cellular mobile systems were implemented to improve the utility of spectrum efficiently. That is, we have a whole spectrum allocated to different users, and cellular mobile system was implemented to improve this utilization. When the traffic density starts to build up and the frequency channel F1 in each cell C1 cannot provide enough mobile calls, the original cell can be splitted into smaller cell. That is, whenever we have a traffic density, the traffic density starts to build up and the frequency channel, that is say F1, cannot in each of the cells say C1, if they cannot provide enough mobile calls, then the original cell can be split into the smaller cell. Now normally the new radius is one half the original radius, so the new cell area becomes 1/4 of the old cell area. Thus each new cell carries the same maximum traffic load of the old cell, that is, the whole traffic load will be similar, but the new traffic of the station becomes 4 times the older traffic, and thus what happens is that the number of users that can be allocated to that particular cell increases. So basically, cell splitting is something wherein we divide a particular congested cell into a smaller cell. So it is a process of subdividing a congested cell into smaller cell with its own base station having its corresponding reduction in the antenna heights and the transmitted power. And there are two types of cell splitting techniques, that is permanent splitting and dynamic splitting. This technique utilizes the allocated spectrum efficiency in the real time. In the situations such as the traffic jams, the ideal small cell site can be rendered operative in order to increase the cell's traffic capacity. So basically there are two types in which we can divide or we can split a cell. So permanent cell splitting is something wherein each new split cell is planned ahead of the time with consideration of the number of channels, transmitted power, assigned frequency, selection of the cell site, and the traffic load consideration. That is, each new cell will be planned based on all this parameters. So each of this new cell will be planned, that is, they will be deciding how to create a new cell based on the number of channels, the transmitted power in each channel, the assigned frequencies, selection of the cell site, and the traffic load consideration. When the installation is ready, the actual service cutover is set at the lowest traffic point, usually at the midnight on a weekend, and the frequency assignment follows the rule based on the frequency reuse distance ratio Q that we have already discussed. So when the installation of this permanent cell splitting is ready, the actual service cutover is set at the lowest traffic point. That is, how do they transfer the whole load from a huge cell to the splitted cell? They do it generally at the lowest traffic point, that is usually at the midnight on a weekend. That is when the number of users will be less. At that time the service transferring thing is done. The another way is dynamic splitting. So this technique, that is the dynamic splitting technique, it is based on utilizing the allocated spectrum efficiency in the real time, and the cell splitting proceeds gradually over a cellular operating system to prevent the dropped calls. Suppose there exists a communication line between the two stations. Say there are two stations 1A and 2A, and there is a communication line between the two. Now if the area between the two A sectors require the increase in the traffic capacity, then the midpoint between the two old A sector is named as a new 2A, and the new 1A is found by rotating the old 1A to 2A line clockwise by 120 degree. Now here, say for example, if you rotate the whole thing, then you get a new way. I mean, how do you create a split? This is what it is explained. You just have to move the whole old line by 120 degrees to create a new split. The size of the splitting cell is generally dependent on the two factors, that is the radio aspect and the capacity of the switching processor. What do you mean by the radio aspect? It is the size of the cell. If the size of the cell is dependent on how well the coverage pattern can be controlled and how accurately vehicle location can be known, that is called the radio aspect. And the capacity of switching processor, that is the smaller cells, the more handoff will occur and more splitting process is required. So the capacity of the switching processor has to be large. I mean, its role is larger than the coverage area of the small cell. So when cell splitting occurs, to maintain the frequency reuse distance ratio Q in a system, the splitting takes into account using the some consideration. Say for example, the first one is like splitting of a cell causes an unbalanced situation in a power and frequency reuse distance. Hence, it becomes necessary to split small cells in the neighboring cell. Thus, the small cell splitting affects the neighboring cells, and certain channels are to be used as the barriers. That is, we have different channels associated with it, so we have to use those channels as the barriers. Barriers means the ones that will be separating each of the cell. So basically two things are taken into consideration when we divide a particular cell using the frequency reuse distance ratio. Splitting of the cell will be causing an unbalanced situation in the power and the frequency reuse distance. So it is necessary to split the small cell in its neighboring cell. And the another thing is the certain channels can be used as the barriers. A group of frequencies are used only in a cell located between the larger cell on one side and the smaller ones on the other. So this will eliminate the interference in the transmission from a large cell to a small cell. So these are some of the considerations that we need to keep in mind while splitting a particular cell. Cell splitting is the process of subdividing a congested cell into a smaller cell, as we have already known. So with its own base station and the corresponding reduction in the antenna height, but cell splitting, it will increase the capacity of the system since it increases the number of times the channels are reused. So in a cell splitting, original cell is splitted into smaller cells and the new cell radius is generally the half of the original radius. And in this, cell boundaries needs to be revised so that the local area which was earlier considered as a single cell can now contain number of smaller cells. Hence the new cells are called the microcells. Here the new cells that will be generated are called the microcells, and they will be generated such that we have to revise the whole cell boundaries. Now, at the beginning of the channel splitting process, there would be fewer channels in the smaller power groups, and as the demand increases, more and more channels need to be accommodated, and hence the splitting process continues until all the large cells have been replaced by the smaller cells. So at that point, splitting is complete within the region and the entire system is rescaled to have a smaller radius per cell. That is, at the beginning of a channel there will be only small group of channels that needs to be splitted, but as the demand increases, you need more and more channels to be splitted and to accommodate the number of subscribers. So if a cellular layout is replaced entirely by a new layout with a smaller radius, then the signal to interference ratio will not change, provided the cluster size does not change. as the cluster size remains the same, the signal to interference ratio will not change, and some special care have to be taken to avoid the co-channel interference when both the large and the small size radius coexist. That is, inside a large cell, when there are small cells that will be existing, so we need to take care of the co-channel interference that will be generated between those two channels that will be having the different radius. It turns out that the only way to avoid the interference between the large cell and the small cell is to assign entirely different set of channels to the two system. That is, we have to give them different channels, then and then the co-channel interference can be reduced. So when the two sides of the cell coexist in a system, channels in the old cell must be broken down into two groups, one that corresponds to the larger cell reuse requirements and the other that corresponds to the smaller cell reuse requirement. So what happens is that when we do the cell splitting, there will be two types of cells, right? Some of them will be with a larger radius, some of them will be with a smaller radius. So when the two sides of the cells coexist in a system, the channels in the old cell must be broken down into two groups. The channels that are associated to those cells, they need to be broken down into two groups, and then we can assign those channels, some of them to the smaller cell group and some of them to the larger cell reuse requirement groups. The larger cell is usually dedicated to the high speed user, as in the umbrella cell approach, so as to minimize the number of hands off. So as we have already seen that the larger cell is generally dedicated to the high speed users, as we saw in the umbrella cell concept, and it is done to minimize the number of hands off. The size of the splitting cell is generally dependent on the two factors, that is the radio aspect and the capacity of the switching processor. The size of the cell is dependent on how well the coverage pattern can be controlled and how accurately a vehicle location can be known. That is, the size of when we divide a particular cell into smaller cell, the size of those cell will be dependent on the coverage pattern. The base station's coverage area will be the factor that will be deciding it, and how accurately a vehicle location can be known, that is how easily can we know the location of the vehicles that will be moving in that particular cell. The capacity of the switching processor is the another parameter or the another factor. The smaller the cell, the more handoff will occur and more cell splitting process is required. Thus, the capacity of the switching processor has a larger role than the coverage area of the smaller cell. Why is cell splitting necessary? Cell splitting increases the capacity of a system since it increases the number of times that channel is reused. Cell splitting, it will be increasing the capacity of a system because the number of times that channel is reused also increases, because we are dividing a particular cell into number of smaller cells, and hence the reuse of those channels will increase. In a cell splitting, original cell is splitted into smaller cells and the new cell radius is half of the original radius. So this is necessary to maintain the small frequency reuse plan in the new cell layout as well. So this is the reason why cell splitting is necessary. Now moving on to some of the advantages and the disadvantages. Say advantages of cell splitting includes that it improves the signal to noise ratio, because we are dividing a particular cell into smaller size, its coverage area also decreases and the height of the antenna decreases, and hence it improves the signal to noise ratio. It reduces the interference, which increases the capacity. The interference will reduce, so the capacity of the system increases. It reduces the cluster size, because we are dividing a whole cell into smaller cell, and hence we will be using, the size of the cluster also gradually decreases. System capacity gradually expands, because that is why we are splitting the cell. So that is an advantage, that is we used cell splitting to increase the system capacity, and actually it does. But we have some of the disadvantages also. Now because of cell splitting, the handoff process will have to be operated more frequently. The channel assignment also becomes difficult, and all the cells are not simultaneously, so special care have to be taken for the proper allocation of the problem. All the channels are not simultaneously, I mean all the channels don't work simultaneously, so you need to care when uh, we properly, I mean the proper allocation of the problem has to be done when we are splitting a particular cell. So this is all about cell splitting, that is we are dividing a particular larger cell into smaller cell so that the coverage area requirement and the reason, I mean the reason was to increase the system capacity and reusing the particular core channel. All of these requirements of our system increases. So this is all about cell splitting. If you have any questions, you can ask. Thank you.